Yo, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing What If Naruto Was a Mega Prodigy Part 5. Let's go. Naruto is now 8 years old and has trained a lot and is now one of the strongest Jonin in this village and realistically any village. The war pretty much just ended, so the villagers are still recovering and many people have died, since especially at the end of the war, Minato and the third Raikage went mayhem and annihilated thousands of shinobi. So yeah, a lot of casualties, definitely. But even those who didn't cash that many casualties still took a toll on how much money they had. And I mean, it just emotional scarred everyone in the villages, so they would have to take time to recover from a war like that. Now at this point, Minato is feared by everyone. When I say everyone, I truly mean everyone. Even hated by some people in the other villages. As I mentioned, he did kill a lot of people, some obviously precious to some people. But he's also respected a lot for his strength and his leadership, as he has now been crowned the 4th Hokage. Yes, sorry. Minato is now the 4th Hokage, making Naruto the son of the 4th Hokage. Now, of course, Shisui has developed as well, though Naruto has developed much faster. Naruto's chakra and taijutsu are simply above Jonin level. To be honest, even Kage and beyond that, while Shisui is still probably a high level Chunin. Sorry, not Chunin. A Jonin, high level Jonin. So there is definitely a barrier between those two. And Naruto, of course, due to his genetics, just has more chakra. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about Naruto's sister, as she hasn't really had any screen time, I can say. Well, she has been developing, though started training much later than Naruto did. She's now about 5.5 years old and started training when she was 4, so 2 years later than Naruto. However, she is actually quite strong for her age, as she also had pretty good training. Now, of course, still very basic as she is really young, but yeah. Other people her age have not had any kind of training, so she's definitely ahead. Now, Naruto is at the point where he actually does have a reputation, not just in Konoha, but of course people know him there as a very powerful and very young shinobi, but also outside Konoha. People of other villages have started recognizing him in mission reports, as he kept coming up, and always he succeeded. Of course, being bad for the opponents, but good for him. But yeah, slowly but surely, even amongst the people, he got a reputation. Not just as Minato's kid, but as a prodigy. Naruto also has his own kind of fan club, similar to as Sasuke had in the original, with actually people of a lot of different ages. Well, only from Konoha mostly though, but most of them were actually his age. Potential lovers, if you get what I'm putting down here. Now, something else which is interesting is that Naruto's small sister and Itachi, who are almost the same age, have actually become better friends. Well, not better, they have become friends, and pretty good ones actually. They hang out a lot, even when Naruto isn't around, since he is pretty busy doing missions and stuff. And both of them like Naruto, and he's basically their idol, and they both, well, started training at a young age, so they do have that in common too. Naruto and Shisui have kind of become a tag team of Konoha, being an attack team actually. They work together very well, got each other's back, and even individually are extremely powerful. And those two put together can take down basically anyone, and could probably take down even the Kage themselves. Probably not altogether, but yeah. Now over the next few months, Naruto's missions have actually kind of gone from fighting to more peaceful missions. Rescuing people, taking care of criminals, stuff like that. Kind of normal missions, as the war was now over, so fighting for peace was their main priority, and Naruto did actually become a symbol for peace for a lot of people, especially the people that he did save in those missions. Minato himself was surprised at how fast Naruto could be doing these C, B, and even A ranked mission on his own, as at some point he was doing multiple missions per day, which usually would take a whole Genin team maybe 2 or 3 days. And that includes a Jonin teacher, which is powerful. So yeah, Naruto is very fast at doing missions. He kind of has that from Minato, as they are father and son after all. Now at this point, Itachi and Naruto's younger sister, Kasumi, have both just finished the academy, which is also why the Namikaze/Uzumaki family, along with, of course, some of the Uchiha, celebrated together as the younger ones now also finished their academy years. And Minato and Fugaku actually came up with an idea here, and that was to have Naruto actually help out, as well as Shisui. Help out in the sense of being a Jonin instructor. So Shisui and Naruto were both ordered to tackle a new kind of task, to become an instructor. Now of course they knew they weren't gonna do this forever, and they didn't even know who they were gonna instruct. But they found out the next day that, funny enough, it was actually Naruto's younger sister, Kasumi, and Itachi, one of their good friends. Now usually there would be a third teammate, but I'm gonna say that they are going to be kind of a team of 4 in the future. For now, 2 senseis, 2 students, but in the future they're supposed to become a team of 4, each one stronger than the next, an absolute menace of a team to any village threatening the Leaf, as those were the top prodigies, young and strong, of Konoha, and basically anywhere. So putting all 4 of those in one team would be legendary. Anyways, they did the bell test, and once again, since there wasn't 3 team members and 1 sensei, there was no trickery that they had to work together to, pass, because else they wouldn't. They just had to get belts, one on Shisui and one on Naruto. Now even though it wasn't ordered, Itachi and Kasumi actually wanted to work together, as they were good friends and had trained together before, so they knew how they fought, and they just knew how each other thought. First, they focused on Shisui, as they thought Naruto was much stronger, and he kind of was, but of course he wasn't going to use his full power right now. Naruto just waited on the sideline, as it would be kind of unfair and not fun if Naruto and Shisui worked together to defeat their students. So Shisui alone was fighting the 2, and it was actually going pretty well. Shisui was actually forced to use his 1 Tomoe Sharingan, as Itachi had his 3 Tomoe activated, which yes, he did get. Not from something traumatic, just that Shisui used a Genjutsu on Itachi to get his 3 Tomoe prematurely, without having to, have any trauma. Kasumi's chakra reserves were very large, similar to Naruto, as she was half Uzumaki, and daughter of a Jinchuriki, not just any, but the Nine-Tails, so that gives even more, and of course she had pretty good training. Now since Shisui didn't go too hard, the 2 students were actually able to get 1 bell off Shisui, and now they were going to fight Naruto. Shisui now laid back and watched the fight. Naruto wasn't gonna take it as chill as Shisui, and immediately took out a kunai, which Itachi also had, as he wasn't just gonna dodge. No, he was gonna block and perhaps even hit back. Naruto is not playing around here. Now of course he wasn't using his full power, as I said, but he's still gonna pretend that this is a real fight. So yeah, he overpowers the 2 pretty easily. Itachi is actually pretty surprised, and so are the other 2, that Naruto would actually use this much power on them, but they still let them pass, of course. as not letting them pass would be pretty stupid, but yeah, it's technically speaking, it would have been a possibility. But yeah, Itachi and Kasumi pass, and for now, Itachi, Kasumi, Naruto, and Shisui are doing missions of 4 together. They actually let Kasumi and Itachi do D-rank missions on their own, as they don't have to really instruct them, because they know how to do D-rank missions on their own. It's not really that hard, it's basically doing chores. But then, of course, when it comes to C or even B-rank missions, of course, Naruto and Shisui are gonna participate, especially in those B-rank missions, as normally there wouldn't be any B-rank missions, but since there's 2 very strong Jonin, and even the Genin are very strong, a B-rank mission, or at least a low B-rank mission, is gonna be allowed. Now at this point, whilst Itachi is sleeping, whilst they're on a mission, Shisui actually goes into his room and puts a genjutsu on him, as if he is dreaming, though to make it very, very realistic, almost as if it is actually happening. The genjutsu is Kasumi dying in Itachi's arms. Now, this is very cruel, of course, but Shisui really wanted to get Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan at this point, and they would actually be able to trade MSs, so they would get the EMS, the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, as Shisui and Itachi could just, take out their eyes and give them to each other. I know it sounds gross, but yeah, it works. That's all you need to know. On the next morning, Itachi does have his EMS unlocked, though he doesn't actually know it, since just for a brief term, he unlocked it in his sleep, but then actually Shisui put Itachi back to sleep, as if nothing ever happened. However, Itachi would still remember the dream of Kasumi dying, though he would just think of it as a normal dream whilst he was sleeping, as Shisui was gone in a flash. On the next morning, Shisui would explain all about the Mangekyo Sharingan, and on that day they would actually switch their eyes, making their eyes much, much more powerful, of course, and not having side effects such as blinding. Now at this point, Shisui's eyes are so developed that he can actually use stuff like the Amaterasu, and now can use it without being blind or getting blinded, so he can spam it as much as he wants since he does have the chakra too. And soon, not quite yet, but soon he will actually be able to get the Susanoo, similar to Itachi will too. Now since this was a big power up for Itachi, now Kasumi would have to upgrade too. She would train harder than before with Naruto. Naruto would teach her some of his moves, some of his taijutsu, and actually also teach her the Shadow Clone Jutsu, though only for training purposes. She wouldn't use it in a battle, as it just wasn't her style, but for training, it's really good. Naruto of course explained all of, how the secret works, and how to train with Shadow Clones. Now, Naruto's Shadow Clones were incredible. He was able to control them so perfectly. They were, when he trained, for example, having 5 Shadow Clones, it was like training 4 times faster than just one person, which is almost 1-to-1 per Shadow Clone, which is insane. At the beginning, it was less than 2-to-1, meaning 2 Shadow Clones would be 1 times faster. But anyways, first Kasumi had to of course learn how to make Shadow Clones, but that didn't take her much long, so then she just used them for training. She also worked on her chakra, and Naruto taught her some stuff about chakra natures, as she already had the Rasengan down, but Naruto did teach her how to use, chakra nature style Rasengan, as his example was the Wind Shuriken, though actually Naruto was so goated that he actually had all 5 of the nature style Rasengan, so he was able to show off every single one. Kasumi first wanted to try Wind too, as Wind had always felt pretty easy for her, and that took her only a few days to train. Then she started the water, and so on. By the way, Minato would also of course learn these, though Naruto was the one to actually invent them, as he was very good at inventing and creating new jutsus, or reforming old ones to make them better or more efficient. Now skipping forward a tiny bit, actually Shisui was confronted by White Zetsu, as Madara had sent Zetsu to try to convince Shisui about their plans. Now since they didn't know of anything that Shisui truly desired to have, they just talked about how he could have as much power as he wanted, could be the leader of his village, and stuff like that, though Shisui denied their offer immediately, as he had all he wanted, in Konoha, with Naruto. And there was even a girl that he liked, so why would he want something else? Why would he choose a different kind of reality? But that's where I'm gonna leave off the video, during the confrontation of Shisui and Zetsu. Hope you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!